She went home, and then the following week came back with the lyrics and the melody for Linger.
She loved a good laugh. She loved to have fun with things, and she learned not to take this thing too seriously. We're just glad, I guess, we've had a very, very long career, like 30 years is, it's amazing to have that behind you. It's been an amazing experience to have songs that are still played on the radio that we wrote like a long, long time ago. It's amazing, and it still kind of surprises us and shocks us, I think, as much as anyone else.
Yeah, somebody suggested doing an album like that, and we kind of thought it was a good idea, We said we'd try, because we had done some songs acoustically like that, but for something like Dreams we had never done before, so that was a bit challenging, but it was interesting for us to do that. Playing all the old songs, we kind of got speaking and suggested maybe writing a new album and doing some new songs and new material, because it had been 2011 or 2012 when Roses came out, and we kind of felt it was time to do something new again. So I think going back over those old songs led us to the new album. The song In the End was the last song we recorded for the recording session, so in the studio it was the very last song we recorded. After we were listening back to it, we kind of agreed that it would be the perfect title for the album, because this is the last Cranberries album of new material, and it's the end of the band as we know it,
No, I mean we had the hard drive of the demos, and basically, I mean what's on the album, should I say, the 11 songs are the best of what was there. There was a few bits and pieces of snippets of bits and pieces, but they weren't really good enough to put on the album. So at the moment, that's all we have, unless there's something else out there that we're unknown of. But
historically, that's what we do. We would do an album, do the press run, and then start the tour around the time the album comes out. But obviously, with Dolores not here, that's impossible. So really, we've only ever played these songs one time, and that was recording them, and we have never played them since, and probably won't play them again.
Well, Noel and Mike are brothers, and I think we were around 14, and we were into breakdancing, and I met the lads through breakdancing, and then after a few years we started listening to bands like The Cure and The Smiths and New Order and things like that, and started to see local bands playing in Limerick, and we kind of said, okay, there's some local bands playing here, why don't we get instruments and try. Dolores was looking for a band that played original music, and she came into a rehearsal room, set up her keyboard, played a few songs, and we gave her a tape with the music for Linger. She went home, and then the following week came back with the lyrics and the melody for Linger. Yeah, actually, like it was yesterday. I remember she walked in and she was very shy and very quiet, and yeah.
I don't know, it's very hard to pick, there's so many, but I suppose, listening now to this album, I do love the new single, All Over Now, and there's this track called Lost on the album as well. Personally, that would be my favourite. I think the vocal is fantastic in that. So
I think there's a song called The Glory on the last album, and that's kind of grown on me in the last year a lot more than it ever had, so it's become, I think, one of my favourites.
In the End, the song In the End, that and Lost are the two on this album that really stand out for me.
This album would have probably been just one of another batch of Cranberries albums. I would like to think that we would have continued on, because the nice thing about this band is that we would do stuff like this. We'd do an album, then we'd do all the bits that come with that, and you'd do that for a year and a half maybe, and then you'd take a break again for a while, and then we'd start ringing each other again and come back to it.
it was a great era of music, real bands, real guitar bands. When we started out touring, we kind of just were looking after our own thing and just enjoying that, and you know, going to see live bands and the whole that. It was a fantastic era, you know.
What a lot of people probably don't know, you know, like we knew her obviously as a friend more so, and there's the kind of, there's the public persona that everybody puts out, and you know, that's what everyone thinks that person is. Then for us, you know, she was just this funny girl from what we consider the countryside where we live. She loved a good laugh, she loved to have fun with things, and she learned not to take this thing too seriously. Like, she was very driven, and when work was, you know, when you were working, she focused on that and she did it. She was great, especially in those early days where we were only starting out, and Dolores had been playing since she was a kid. So you were trying to keep up with her all the time, and it pushed us forward as musicians.